Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's International Women's Day here at the Angsana Phuket. We are celebrating gender balance. That is the theme of this year's International Women's Day. Equality amongst the genders. And frankly, I'm just not sure it's going to work. Because at the end of the day, us girls, we're far superior, right? Yeah. Hey! I'm joking, guys. All right.
You're outnumbered.
So I wanted to start today with a story of a very strong, brave, courageous woman. I'm only joking, not me. Who has lived her passion in order to really represent my point today, which is to put your ass where your heart really wants to be. But when I went out researching and I started looking at who could I talk about, who could I use as my example, there were just too many. There are just too many incredibly inspirational women through the years that have, against all adversity, with everything seemingly against them, with challenges that you would think that maybe they couldn't overcome, have just gone out there and have led the way and have really lived their lives, have lived their passion and have become who they wanted to be in this world. And I could talk about hundreds and hundreds of women. If you go online, there are literally so many examples of women who are just out there blazing a trail in whichever field, as mothers, as female billionaires, as sports people, as women who've travelled the world before they should have. I was reading yesterday about a lady who actually dressed up as a man in order to be able to travel around the world back in the early 1900s. I mean, it's incredible how strong, brave, and courageous these women are. Each and every one of those women put in their backside, I actually prefer that word to ass, but I got the quote off a great American author. But these women put in their backside where their heart really wants to be. So why me? Why am I stood up here talking to you today? Who is this chick, you may ask? Well, 9 years ago, living in dreary UK, I had not recession-proofed my business, and the recession hit, and I ended up with pretty much nothing. And I had a beautiful young daughter, and I'd always said that when I had children, I wanted to live abroad. I'd said it for years and years and years. If I ever have children, I want to raise them in a sunny country. I don't want to be in the UK. It's miserable, it's dreary, everybody stays inside. Little did I know then that kids were going to get addicted to mobile phones and stay inside anyway, whether it was sunny or not. But I was absolutely convinced I wanted to raise my daughter or my child when I had them abroad. And I had this beautiful little 4-year-old girl and a big dream of chasing the sun around the world. Luckily enough, I had a wonderful partner who had the same dream. But at the time, we had very little resources, very little money, and really weren't sure what we wanted to do, except the desire had grown incredibly strong. Well, it happened that some friends of ours were living in an apartment in Cyprus, and they were going to Austria, which was their home country, for the summer period, for about 6 to 8 weeks. And they wanted some house sitters. And I was in London, and I phoned my partner, and I said to him, honey, these guys want house sitters, shall we go? And he was like, yeah, why not? And I said, the only problem is we need to be there in a week. Well, by the time I'd got home on the Sunday night, he had basically taken photos of everything in our house and had put it on one of the local sales sites, Gumtree it's called in the UK. By the end of the week, we'd sold everything in our house for the princely sum of about £1,000, including my daughter's bike. So I've got this little 4-year-old trotting around on a bike, and some guy comes to buy everything, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, honey, I need your bike. I'm not sure she's ever gotten over that. But we sold everything, and the 3 of us with our little suitcase jumped on a plane, and we have not looked back since. In 9 years, we have travelled all over the world. I have experienced so many different cultures, so many different people. My mind has been expanded beyond belief. I've changed as a person beyond belief from where I was 9 years ago. And then 3 years ago, we decided to settle here in Phuket to see my daughter through school and her IGCSEs, and to finish all of that. Now, within a year of travelling, as I said, we didn't have many resources, didn't have much money at the time, just a big dream. Within a year of travelling, we had built a sustainable online business, so we were funding our travels. Within 5 years of travelling, we had built the business and diversified enough for me to stop working once we hit Phuket. So I was able to stop, and I was able to focus on myself and my health and my family, and just basically living and having fun and getting into the community and meeting people, and that's what I've been doing. And then this year I decided that I wanted to get back into blogging because I love it. So my mission with my blog is to help people all across the world to build businesses that they can run from anywhere in the world, which gives them the freedom to live life completely by their own design. And that is the critical key here, to live life by their own design. Because so often we get caught up in life and we start living lives that other people have laid out for us, not lives that we have created for ourselves. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen in the room, are you putting your ass where your heart wants to be? Are you? And if you are, that's awesome. Go to the bar, get a drink, you don't need to listen to the rest of the talk. If not, why not? Why aren't you? If you're not being really true to yourself and completely living the life that you really want to live, why not? We only get one crack of the whip this life. There's only a finite time. We think we have all the time in the world, but we may not. We may only have 80, 100, 150 years. Who knows? Artificial intelligence may help me live forever, but we may not. We may only have a finite time. So we have to prioritize our life, because if we do not prioritize our life, she says, waiting for the slide, then somebody else is going to prioritize it for us. So why don't people necessarily go out and live the life that they want to live all of the time? Why do they just let themselves coast along and live lives that are kind of designed for them? I'll tell you why. Because it's hard. To really go out there and be yourself, to get out there and be who you truly want to be, is harder. It's harder than just coasting along. It's harder because you have to make difficult decisions. It's harder because you have to move out of your comfort zone and you have to face your fears. Your fear of judgment, your fear of what other people might think of you, your fear of your own self-doubt or inadequacies. And it's scary. It's scary to get out there and actually be who we really, really want to be. And sometimes fear can be absolutely paralysing. I tell you that because last week I went skiing. And that pretty much sums up my week. I am not a natural skier by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not ashamed to tell you that in the first 2 days, I spent the whole time in tears. I was so scared. And on the second morning, I threw down my skis and I said to my instructor, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's too scary and I can't do it. I'm just not a skier. We're not all meant to be skiers, you know, I'm telling her. Anyway, she convinces me to carry on. And I carry on skiing. And by the end of the week, I am kind of parallel skiing down a small baby blue run. We're not talking black runs or anything here. I haven't got this amazing skiing story where all of a sudden by the end of the week I'm in the Olympics. But I am actually skiing and I am actually having fun. But the critical thing is, at the beginning of the week, and this is the real key here, at the beginning of the week when I was so scared, I was in tears and I didn't want to ski, I couldn't visualise myself skiing. I couldn't see it in my brain. I was so paralysed by my fear. I was so scared that I just couldn't even see myself skiing. I couldn't believe for 1 second that this instructor would actually make me ski. There was just no possible way that was going to happen because I just didn't belong on these bloody sticks, you know, with people careering down mountains. I just couldn't visualise it for 1 second. And that's what life is about. Life is about the fact that we are going to move out of our comfort zones in order to be who we want to be and do what we want to do, but we're going to fail. And I fell down time after time, and I tumbled down the mountain and all the rest of it, and we're going to fail, and we're going to fail again, and we're going to fail again, and we're going to fail again. But it doesn't matter how many times we fail. It's about how many times we pick ourselves up. It's about how many times we get back up, we get back on that horse or back on the skis, and we try again. That's what living a life that's true to us and putting your ass where your heart wants to be is about. So, I want to leave you with some actionable tips. I want you to be able to leave this room and go and actually take some action from my talk today. So step one is, do you know where your heart truly wants to be? And many people might say, do you know what, I'm not sure anymore, Joe. You know, life has happened and stuff goes on and I look at my life and I'm not really even sure what it is I want to be or do anymore. And the thing is you do, you just have to push aside all your limiting beliefs. So here's a thing that I'd love you to do this week if you could, is to go out to the countryside, on the beach, have a glass of wine, drink a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do, and ask yourself if time, money, commitments, family, children, they weren't an issue, yeah, they weren't something that could hold you back from doing, what's your big dream? And I'm not saying you're going to go and achieve it tomorrow or next year or whatever, but just having that clarity of knowing who you want to be is enough to set you on that path, is enough to set you on that journey. So ask yourself, what are my big dreams? You can even go back to your childhood and say, what did I dream about when I was a kid? What was it I really wanted to do? And just having that clarity and knowing what it is that you really want to do will set you down that path to do it. Secondly, and this is the most important question, is why? Why is that important to you? Why is that something you really, really want to do? And this is the question. Because if I get down to it in my heart of hearts, I've got a million whys of why I want to do all the things I want to do over the next 40 years. But if I get down to the crux of it for me, it's my 12-year-old daughter. And I want to inspire her to be the very best she can be in the world. I want to inspire her to be brave and courageous and confident and be loaded with self-esteem and go out and grab life by the balls and just go and do everything she wants to do with no fear. I want to inspire her to do that. But I can't do that by sitting in front of the kitchen table and saying, hey, Keris, go and be the best you can be. I have to be that person. I have to show her. I have to demonstrate it to her. So I have to go out and I have to grab life. I have to be the person that gets out there and does everything I want to do and is true to myself and chooses happiness. Because if I do that, then she's going to watch me. And if mum can do it, she can do it. How do you think the ski instructor got me to carry on skiing on that second morning when I didn't want to do it? When I was in tears and I was super scared and I did not want to go on skiing. And she said to me, Jo, in her French accent. Sorry, that was a terrible French accent. Jo, do not give up. That sounds more Italian, doesn't it? Do not give up. If you give up, your daughter will give up. Oh, talk about get me in the heart of my why. Oh my God. I'm like, no, I don't believe it. I never want to go skiing with Keris ever again. So I can give up and she doesn't have to witness it. So I had to keep going. I had to carry on skiing because my why was so strong that my fear of skiing was obliterated by the fact that I could not give up. Because if she saw me give up, she'd know it would be okay to just pack it up every time you're a little bit scared and you're not sure you can do something. So I carried on skiing and we carried on skiing together. And that is how important your why is, because it's going to get you through those darkest moments. When you cannot see, when you cannot visualize where you might come out on the other end of what it is you really want, when you're blinded to the outcome because your fear is so paralyzing, that strong why is going to be the reason that you keep taking that one step in front of the other towards that goal, or a snowplow in my case. And then lastly, you have to take action. You have to get out there and do it. I'd love to tell you that this is The Secret. Anybody seen The Secret or know The Secret? It's a film, it's a book, and I'm nearly finished. It's a film, it's a book, and basically, it kind of promotes that if you think positive thoughts, then you're going to manifest amazing things in your life. I kind of get where they're coming from, but the bit they miss is the positive thoughts then promote positive action. And it's the action that is the key. And this is where the rubber hits the road. And this is why so many people don't ever really reach that true kind of level of happiness in their life, because they kind of know who they want to be and they kind of know why, but it's too hard. There's too many things in the way. It's too scary. And that's why your why is so important to help you get past that fear and really go for it and become exactly who it is that you want to be in this world. Success, ladies and gentlemen, it's not money, it's not cars, houses, anything external, whatever it is that we think other people think success might be, or how they judge us or whatever. It's none of those things. Success is liking yourself. It's liking what you do, and it's liking how you do it. In fact, lovely Maya Angelou there, I believe success is loving yourself and loving what you do and loving how you do it. Why don't we choose happiness, right? Thank you very much for listening. Live on purpose and make it happen. Thank you.